Fuck, I hate that so much. What do you think the odds are of World War III happening within the next 5 years?
That's how you want to start, eh?
Yeah.
World War III in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty slim.
Really? I'm like at like 80%.
Here's the thing, and that is probably not going to be a popular view, but I have enough trust in the world leaders that I don't believe that they'll end our world.
Okay, that is bold. Do you want to expand on that?
I think World War III would essentially be the end of the world.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Definitely. Yeah. So I have enough trust in humans in general that they won't let the end of the world happen.
Interesting. Is there a specific reason?
Most humans just don't really like life, which is also a possibility.
Yeah. Is there a specific reason for that? Or are you just kind of like, I hope we don't fuck this up?
I don't know. I think humans like living. We want to survive.
I don't know about that first one.
It is kind of human instinct to just like survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we will let ourselves go down that path.
Do you think there will be a Cold War Part 2 though, where it's just kind of like
that is, I think, is way more likely.
Yeah. Who's going to pull the trigger first?
Yeah, it won't be like a full-on world war where we're like invading Russia or something on the ground, boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing won't happen again.
It'll just be kind of like repeated pump fakes from the biggest world powers, like, oh, who's gonna do it first? Who's gonna do it first? But then again, World War II, Neville Chamberlain was like, guys, it's okay. Hitler told me he's not going to invade Poland. And then 6 months later, Hitler's like, I invaded Poland. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people just didn't know what Hitler was going to do at the same time.
Looking back, though, that's probably, I think, historically the funniest interaction ever. Like, it's not funny. Obviously, people died. It was horrible. But like,
I was gonna say, that's a good way to say.
Objectively hilarious, knowing what we know now, to be like, guys, Hitler promised it's okay.
Well, I guess that means we should be careful who we trust in the future.
I mean, how do you know, like, whose intentions are really what? Like, I don't know. Maybe I get too existential for myself sometimes. It's this massive forehead that I have, man. There's too many thoughts I can think.
Maybe the way to get to the middle of this is what world leader has really recently said they won't invade a specific place. And then we can figure out if that person would actually invade that place, or if they're Hitler-esque.
That's a good point. I don't think. Okay, you're right. I think Cold War is much more likely than Cold War II is much more likely.
There's going to be a bunch of flexes and stuff eventually.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, see, the thing is,
than you do.
If we had to, like, I think Biden's much more likely to do some fuck shit than Canada is.
Biden knows what's happening. I don't think he knows where he is. That's
true. But that makes him more likely. Like, he'll just accidentally fall over and hit a nuke button or some shit. Like,
that's also true. This is the funny part, is that when Trump was president, is that it was like a daily thing where he'd say like one stupid thing and then there'd be a whole news thing about it. With Biden, the daily thing is that he says something where he like doesn't even know what he's saying, and he just sounds really like senile. And then like he looks lost, and then he stumbles, and then people make excuses.
Yeah.
And
did you? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't think he would end up starting a war because I don't know, too old.
Did you see that thing where Biden? Somebody asked him a question. Oh man, it was. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll try to pull it up in a sec. But somebody asked him a question. He responded with something along the lines of, "Do Republicans?" Oh yeah. Somebody asked, "Are there Democrats who really want to defund the police?" Like, he's like, "We're not going to defund the police." He's like, "But are there people in the party that want to defund the police?" He's like, "Are there Republicans who think that we're murdering babies and sucking their blood?" And it's like, dude, what? Where did that come from?
Deflection.
Yeah. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, no, but nobody knows what you're doing there, Biden.
Yeah, literally. I think my issue with like the anything but Trump mentality is it goes so far, and people, it's like, again, you don't have to lick Trump's asshole to know that the anything but Trump train is stupid, because Biden was in office for 2 weeks and he bombed Syria already, and it's like, oh, that's good.
I was gonna say, like, anything but Trump, as long as they're competent, maybe, or like all there. Like, I don't think Biden should probably be in an old folks home.
It probably is being polite about it.
Yeah. Like he's clearly not all there. And then it's funny because everybody was acting like it was like such a big achievement and a celebration. And I was like, guys do realize that this is not like, it's better in a different way, but in no way should you be happy that this guy is leading a country of 350 million people.
Yeah, I would even like
question, why do you have two like 80-year-olds fighting each other to rule a country? Like neither one of them like 10 years ago, the average life was like less than 80, wasn't it?
Yeah. Literally. I don't know, man.
It's not an issue. And then here's what's going to happen. People are going to be like, yeah, that's exactly why I put Kamala Harris in power instead. All you weed smokers can go to jail.
Yeah, exactly. Kamala Harris, who bragged about smoking weed and kept people in jail longer and put a guy on death row, even though he wasn't guilty. Like,
Did you ever see her talk about who her favorite rapper was?
Oh, fuck. I know what you're talking about. I can't say it exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, her favorite rapper is Tupac, who she would have most definitely imprisoned if she had the chance. But she really got to connect with those, youth.
But that's the issue with the whole identity politics thing, it's just stupid inconsistency because everybody's power hungry, right? Like the straight white men are the bane of existence, they're evil, and then everybody like pines for Bernie Sanders, like, and he's old as fuck too, like he's just from a generational standpoint, he's the most likely to be racist. Like if we had to look at
100%, everybody knows that their grandparents tend to be like a little racist at the least.
Yeah, right. So it's like what, and then Kamala Harris is like, oh, but she's black. It's like, dude, what? Like her family also had slaves in their family tree as well. I think in the Caribbean or whatever, or wherever the second. Yeah, but it's like, what? Huh? What the fuck? Oh no, but it's cool because she's a Democrat, huh? That makes no fucking sense. So, like again, if you want to do the anything but Trump thing, fine. I do care, but whatever. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But it's just so clearly flawed, and we're acting like it's not.
I think it's just narrow-minded. I think it's just also the people who don't want to look into politics more. Which, to be honest, I don't want to look into politics more than I look into it because it's really stressful. But I do look at into it enough to know that like the anything but Trump mentality is kind of narrow-minded, and you probably just shouldn't look at politics if that's your mentality.
Yeah, no, Andrew Schultz
better
when he finished his Netflix special, he was like, man, I've never been more depressed than when I was doing research on politics. Like, I get it. I get why all these political pundits hate their lives and look like so run down. He's like, dude, it sucks. And I agree with him. It sucks. I don't want to fucking learn about politics. It's stupid. But then again,
and it's all just manipulative and garbage. And
it's stupid.
Who could pay the media more for these? Like, how can we convince them more of this or this?
Literally.
So I always use it as examples, like when before Trudeau went into power, everybody was so pro Trudeau, everything online, and then it's just all anti Trudeau now.
Yeah, but then again, he also
forth always, right? Whoever is trying to get like not in power is probably spending more money than whoever is in power, and
that's fair. That being said, Trudeau, who's secretly Fidel Castro's son, by the way, for the record, I
heard that's 100% true.
It is 100% true.
We shouldn't even heard that. What is it? Hillary Clinton is in prison, and that Michelle Obama is actually a man.
So is Theresa Tam, apparently.
One of those people were also dead, and they've been covering it up for like 2 years or something like that. Oh, and that Donald Trump is actually still present, and we're just like blinded by the fact, and he's actually the one making decisions. I've also heard that one.
Yeah,
if you dive down that rabbit hole, like. Honestly, like those people must have so much fun. But life must be exciting.
You know what's more fun than that? Watching the videos these people make. That's the real fun part. You're watching us and you're like, I don't know how.
So much time into it too. They have like full video edits, an hour and a half of like all this research, which means that like they must have spent months putting this together to like this is the video that's going to convince everybody of the truth. Let's put it on YouTube.
Dude, out of all those, I'm not gonna lie, I low-key believe the Trudeau Castro thing. I low-key believe that. Like, yeah, I'm crazy enough to believe that one. The other one, it's like, okay, let's say Michelle Obama is secretly a man. What does it have to do with anything? Like, who cares? Like, so that to me doesn't have a big enough payoff, so I don't care. Same thing with the Theresa Tam thing. I don't care if she's secretly a man. Who gives a fuck? If people are Bill Gates and Melinda Gates are secretly dead and they replace them, who cares? That's irrelevant at this point. Yeah. Trudeau being Castro is fun because if I say it, people roll their eyes. But if I believe it, they still roll their eyes. So they don't know what's going on. So that one's fun for me.
Oh, why don't they should do a DNA test.
He won't, man.
Oh, that's the most suspicious part, actually.
Dude, right? Dude, have you seen the pictures of him and Pierre versus him and Fidel? Bro, there's no content. He looks way
I've also
more.
seen pictures of Jay-Z in like the 1800s. I don't know if you saw those ones.
He's a time traveler, bro.
Yeah, Illuminati shit.
That's funny. So well, did you see that? Did you see that clip? And this is where I just fully exposed my tinfoil hatness. You see that clip of Jim Carrey trying to expose the Illuminati on Jimmy Fallon?
I think I actually have.
Yeah, it's like from 7 years ago.
Down a rabbit hole of like watching people try to expose the Illuminati. I think it was around the same time when Avicii died, and then there was a bunch of people saying that like he was trying to expose a pedophile ring or whatever, along with like everybody else who died was trying to expose it.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I dove down a few rabbit holes around that time.
It's fun. I'm not going to lie. It's fun. I don't know like who comes up with what and how they organize that, but
the thing is, when you dive down that rabbit hole, like if you actually believe all that, you must have so much fear in your life.
Yes, absolutely. Like how do you know anything exists?
How do you trust anybody?
You don't.
You don't, exactly. Which is why most of those people sit at home on their computer on the dark web.
Have you read Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell?
No, it's one of the few Malcolm Gladwell books I actually haven't read.
That's a really good book. I really like that book. So there's one part where he's talking about the Bernie Madoff or Madoff. I don't know how you pronounce that. I've heard different ones, but let's go with Bernie Madoff. This guy, he pulled off like this huge scam. Do you remember that?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I remember the name. I don't remember what the scam was.
Me neither, if I'm being honest. I don't really, but that's irrelevant. But essentially there was one guy who was onto him the whole time. Like he snuffed it out immediately. He could like retrace his steps. He's one of these people who like sits at home and just fucking does nothing. I'm not sure if he sits at home and does nothing but like he's very skeptical. He's very, very, I shouldn't say that. He's very, very skeptical though. And they say in the book, like he's super skeptical of everything. Yeah. And so he goes out of his way to try to expose Bernie Madoff, but like he fucks up somehow and he doesn't get the right person, the document that shows where the issue was.
Yeah.
But then they're like, yeah, after the whole thing blew up, he sat at home like scared somebody was going to come bonk him and like nobody came. So it's like on one hand, yeah, you're sitting there with all this fear and you're sitting there thinking like, holy fuck, what's going to happen? But on the other hand, there are certain moments where these people are right. And the problem is like when you believe everything and anything, like if you believe that, I don't know. I mean, everybody should believe 9/11 was an inside job. That one's just common knowledge at this point. But like, if you believe that Epstein's still alive, which he is also, all of a sudden you have to believe that Michelle Obama's a man. And then you have to believe that Theresa Tam's a man.
Yeah.
And then you have to believe
one step it's like a gateway drug. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. Yeah. So you get into all these things. And then, I mean, what are the odds of you shooting 100% on conspiracy theories? 0. Like you're not going to be right on everything. So you sound like a flaming idiot to the average person, but there might actually be some things where you're like, no, this is actually legit. And I don't know how you uncover this. Maybe when you die and meet God, you'd be like, hey, what were Michelle Obama's genitals really like? And he'll tell you, right? Like, or whatever gender God is, but
I haven't heard of it, or a sex we haven't heard of.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's a whole new
you need to sit down.
And spectrum that we don't know, but like odds are these people who are very skeptical might be right about a couple things, but if you go off the deep end and you believe the earth is flat, I mean, I actually don't know what shape the earth is for the record, but if you believe the earth's flat and you believe that there are lizard people and that, you know, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates died and they've been replaced and Jay-Z's a time travel, right? Like
if you start flat, I thought the lizard people are supposed to live in the center of the earth, don't they? Which means the earth can't be flat if you believe in lizard people.
I thought the lizard people lived among us.
I think they do both. I think they live in the center of the earth and they come out once in a while. And then they live in the center of the earth with Nazis who ran away from Germany. And they went through the center of the earth to get to Argentina. And in the center of where the lizard people are, which are also Nazis.
then every single globe is off if going through the center of the earth gets you from Germany to Argentina. Like, those two countries are not on opposite.
Well, I mean, you could go to the center, then you could go, whatever direction you want.
The center's like Union Station in Toronto.
100%. There's a train from each one, and only lizard, like, they scan you to see like how reptilian you are before you can go back up.
Yeah, that's their vaccine passport. You have to show your 23andMe to show how reptilian you are. That's funny. That's funny, but no, the Nazis didn't all go to Argentina. Most of them went to NASA. Stay woke. But yeah, right. Like,
I actually have heard that too.
If you look into, there were some Nazis who actually worked for NASA, right? So like,
NASA and Nazi are pretty close.
Right. Somebody told me that NASA was created by a Nazi. I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked into it, but
I actually heard that too. I think I heard that yesterday.
Wow, look at me reading minds. I'm out here. I might be a lizard.
It was 2 days ago. It was very much in the recent past.
But there are things where like, shit is fishy. And of course people will go to great lengths to cover things up, right? Because the best place to hide is in plain sight. If you can convince everybody of one thing, and then somebody else goes, no, it's clearly obviously the other, there'll be enough people to be like, you're a fucking idiot if you believe that.
And what better way of doing that than controlling the media? And you know who controls most of the media now? Disney. You know who was a Nazi? Walt Disney.
Dude, that's facts.
Yeah. And Disney owns like Fox and everything now. So
that's facts.
So what I'm getting at is go communism. I'm just kidding.
Did you see that clip of Tucker Carlson? This is so funny. He was like talking about how the rich got richer and the poor got poorer during quarantines and stuff. And like, basically he was advocating for communism, but he didn't realize it. It was really funny. He's like, why don't we just tax all these rich people who got richer? And it's like, wait, what? But you're supposed to believe the other. Never mind.
Well, yeah. The rich did get richer.
They did.
But I mean, the rich know how to make money, and they make money. The best way to make money is in a good situation or a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a bad situation, there's a way to make money.
Yeah, literally, right.
One might say that Bezos was smart for making Amazon.
That's a hot take.
Yeah. Who knew that convenience and efficiency would one day make money?
I never would have thought, man. Well, what's that?
What I'm getting at is he must have planned the pandemic. He released COVID on us.
Oh, dude.
Going to space, they made it.
Dude, Fauci admitted that it came from a lab.
A lab in an Amazon factory and the underpaid Amazon workers were so pissed by their underpay that they made a virus.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If I worked at a place that had nets outside so you couldn't jump off the building to commit suicide, I'd probably commit.
At Amazon?
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But
damn, I didn't know the Amazon buildings were that tall, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Others were.
Yeah, it's like that episode of The Office.
I don't believe that. There can't be that many people jumping off Amazon buildings. They need a net.
You know what? It's a meme, so I'm running with it just for the bit. Like if I worked for a place that was like that, where they're like, yeah, you can't kill yourself because there's a net underneath, I'd create a virus that killed the entire planet.
How bad is this Amazon pay? Are they getting like is it like $8 an hour? Is it minimum wage? And
I heard it was 15, but I hear that
I heard it's 15 too, and the 15 is not that bad.
But I heard the conditions offset the 15 an hour, where it's like the management's super tight on your ass and you're expected to work long hours and like.
No, I have to work. Have you ever watched the sorry. Have you ever watched the show on Netflix, American Factory?
No, I haven't.
So it's like a Chinese billionaire. He owns a company that makes front windshields for cars. 70% of the front windshields. He's worth like 18 billion or something like that. He decided to open a factory in the States for the first time. And I guess because he was making a lot of windows for GM, it'd be better to have a factory in the States, so on, regardless of the higher cost of minimum wage. But then when he got there, like the productivity was so far down compared to the Chinese factories, because they would like complain about everything, take long breaks, like not want to work more than like 8-hour days or whatever. And they show clips of his factories in China. And like before each day, they have to like sing the anthem of the company. They work like 18-hour days and sleep at the factory. They only go home one day a month. And then he was like, American people are so lazy. And or one of the complaints was that the Americans' fingers were too fat, so they couldn't grab the windshields out of like like out of, I guess they like line up all the windshields like that. So they put their hand to grab the windshield and pull it out, and their hands were like too fat to grab it. Anyways, they show the work ethic between the. I know like what's happening in China is obviously not how work conditions should be, but
Yeah.
the people in China wanted to work all the time, and it was crazy the different work ethic between the Americans and the Chinese. It was like I want to work here, like I will always work here.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then so he was used to that. When he went to the States, he's like, "What is going on?" So, but obviously he had to comply with like work standards of the state. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but I don't remember what I was going on with that story. Oh yeah, that I think people just don't like working long. I like working long hours personally. I don't know. People don't.
Well, depends on what you're doing though. Like I like working long hours if it's something that I love doing. If I got a comedy show, if I have to deal with my day job and then I have to talk to another person that I'm working with as a contractor, and then maybe edit some videos here and there, and then go to a comedy gig later that night. That to me is like a 16-hour day. It's not all in the same thing, but to me it's worthwhile because I'm doing what I love. If I'm back to working at Earl's Main Street in Winnipeg making fucking happy hour marg pizzas, I'm taking a 20-minute bathroom break because I'd rather jump in the oven than deal with another dinner rush.
It depends on how fulfilling your job is, and
True.
like I'm trying to think. Like when I used to work at Stereo, I definitely worked multiple 16+ hour shifts. I did 90-hour weeks for a while.
Mhm.
I did like I was just telling somebody this the other day. I remember there's one shift where me and like 3 other people worked like above 40 hours in one shift.
Mhm.
And I loved it. They actually worked longer than I did because I was like, I'm going to sleep. But
Mhm.
and Canadians didn't pay you overtime. It
What
was
were
like,
you doing at
it was like
Stereo?
90-hour week. You should only be working 50 max. We're only going to pay you 60 and meet in the middle.
What were you doing at Stereo though?
uh at that time I was like assistant manager.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of was like I did every position at Stereo. I started as like busser, barback, did a bit of bartending and VIP hosting, then started running social media. And then I had some manager duties, and when the manager was out of town, which was a lot, I was acting manager kind of thing. So
Nice.
yeah, it was just those weekends where you have like 3 parties in a row, and then if you're opening and closing the bar, like sometimes you're better off just taking a 2-hour nap at the club instead of going home and then waking up and continuing reopening the next party.
That's wild. That's
It
wild. Yeah,
happened, but it's fun.
I would hate that shit.
It's gonna sound so cheesy, but it's worth it when you see like all the work you put together into a party, and then everybody show up, and then everybody have fun, and you're like, I did this.
Yeah, but that's
It's
the kind
not
of thing.
I and 20 other
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you contributed to that, but that's something that like really gets you going.
that's
Where
why
you're like,
for me it's fulfilling. I like making people have fun. That's like my life goal.
yeah, I'd rather repeatedly jump off the Amazon building to try to break the net than go to a club in general. So like I wouldn't have fun doing that at all, right? But like for you, that's fulfilling. So I think a lot of times when people are like, oh,
like let's say comedy. So if you're doing comedy, I don't know, whatever that takes hours and hours to make.
yeah, I love it.
Say you're going to do an hour special or whatever, and it takes hours to write,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do it, and then people all laugh and have a good time. You're like, I did that.
Yeah, be wicked, it'd be worth it, right? So
it's like releasing it's like, yeah, it's having a reward for their hard work.
yeah, a lot of people think like, oh,
I think everybody needs that. Maybe that's what Bezos needs to do. He needs more incentives.
maybe, or
He just
people
needs
need.
employee of the month. If he had an employee of the month on the wall every month, I bet you no one would complain.
Or if he took the employee of the month to space with him.
Ooh, that would actually be a good incentive. Then out of nowhere, everybody's on board with him going to space. By the way, I'm on board with him going to space. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, talk that shit.
I think it is very important for billionaires to help us go to space because clearly NASA was not doing it well.
Yeah.
There's a reason why SpaceX is so successful.
But do you think NASA's not really successful because there is no space to go to and it's a giant facade?
No, I think NASA's not successful because they're government funded. They get like what, 700 billion a year or some shit like that. And then they still didn't accomplish like as much as like SpaceX did in like 5 years.
But why do we need to go to space?
Because the world is dying and we are we need to explore. We're humans. People are like, we just need to survive. It's like, no, we also need to explore. We need to do all of it at the same time. And just because we're not doing one of them well, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing the other. Also, Jeff, yeah. I'll stop there.
I think we just need to prove that the earth is flat once and for all. When we go up there, we can just see. We can just
all a simulation, and really he was spending billions of dollars on a sex robot.
Yeah, which is fucking dope anyway. But I mean,
there's also wait till that Amazon shop opens up.
Yeah, exactly. Wait till that Amazon shop opens up. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm cool with him going. I think a lot of people are like, oh well, he instead of going to space, he should be doing this. It's like he's got enough money for both.
He does. He truly does. But like, also, he doesn't have like. I think people lack the understanding of what net worth is.
Yes, they do.
I think he has like $180 billion sitting in his bank account, and he just chooses it to spend here instead of there. It's like, no, that's his net worth based on Amazon value, and the Amazon value would not be worth as much if he sold all his shares.
Yeah,
plus somebody to sell all his shares to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You can't just extract 180 bill liquid and be like, yeah,
buy all of his shares, knowing that he's not part of the company anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know, but he should sell all his shares and feed the world instead.
He could.
I don't think it would work like that. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, I don't think it would work like that either. But I do think that, like, I don't know, there are incentives to, like, for example, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the NBA should stop subsidizing the WNBA because they lose money every year. It's like, yeah, but it's a long-term investment, right? Like the NBA is not being like, yo, guys, you know what's really going to make money to put us over the top? The WNBA. They're not thinking that. It's more like, let's invest in goodwill because we're trying to grow the game on a larger scale. And if women are involved and if women are encouraged to play and watch, then we're ultimately increasing the awareness around basketball, and that will convert to fans, to money, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, yeah, you're putting money into that, right? And I think there is something to be said about doing that as well. Like, yo, Jeff Bezos, if you got enough money to go to space, fucking go to space. I don't care. Do what you want. But at the same time, like, I do think there's something towards investing into other things as well. Like, you're not going to solve world hunger. You're not going to solve poverty. Obviously not.
I don't want to pretend I know everything he's investing in, because he's investing in more things than we know of.
That's true. That is.
And I know he's giving money to obviously some good causes too. Like, people were mad because he only gave $100 million to help hunger or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, $100 million's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like cold hard cash to give out. I don't know if that's the actual number that happened. That's what I saw online. I didn't fact check it. But
yeah.
Say that he actually gave $100 million to whatever causes to help fight world hunger.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's pretty damn good, if you ask me.
But I also remember people online being like, you should have give more. And it's like, okay.
That's the thing, is like, you should have gave more. It's like, why?
Yeah, what are we doing at this point?
Like, yeah, it's good. Like, I'm sorry, that sounds bad. What I'm trying to say is, like, he doesn't have to. And like, why should you dictate what he's doing with his money? $100 million. We should just be happy that he gave $100 million. He didn't have to give $100 million.
Yeah, $100 million is more than anybody I've heard.
Same people are the ones that like drive down the street with their windows down and they see a homeless person panhandling and then they roll their window up. And it's like, are you really that great?
Yeah, exactly. Because again, $100 million.
It's a shitload of money.
Is a lot of fucking money. And I don't agree with the idea that you can just throw money at a problem and it becomes better all of a sudden. Like, that makes no sense.
What you need to do is design a toilet that turns your shit into water. Like
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Bill Gates did that?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. And he donated like 10,000 of them in Africa or something like that.
Dude, Bill Gates is dead. He's not real anymore.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah. He's been replaced by a demon. So if you could stop using his name from now on.
He's a code.
Yeah, it's a code. The demon that is currently known as Bill Gates suffices, in my opinion.
And the same code that accidentally designed Bitcoin.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about Bitcoin? I personally don't see it becoming like the shit. But then again, maybe I just don't get it, because why would you spend
store of value?
Pardon me?
I think Bitcoin's a good store of value, and it's a start of something great, but it's a cryptocurrency that is actually going to be useful is not Bitcoin. I think it'll be used as like a store of value. People could, like I said, it'll be more steady, but if you want like innovation, there's way better coins that have way better like real life applications and stuff than Bitcoin.
Well,
Bitcoin's a little slow. Yeah, it's slow. Fees are a little high.
My question about like cryptocurrency is, why would you spend money on something when theoretically it could be worth more tomorrow? Does that make sense?
Like why would you spend Bitcoin on something if Bitcoin could be worth more tomorrow?
Yeah, it's like, okay, you can buy this car for 3 Bitcoin, but what if Bitcoin is worth, like, let's say a Bitcoin's worth $1 million or something. Let's just as a number.
Yeah.
1 Bitcoin's worth $1 million, but what if it's worth $1.1 million tomorrow? Why would I sell now?
Well, that would be a decision for you to make. What if your Canadian dollar is worth 1% less tomorrow or 1% more tomorrow?
That's a good point.
I think it's more just as a store of value. You keep it there, and yeah, your money can go up, but I think the idea is that eventually it should stay fairly stagnant, or at least like as steady as the Canadian/US dollar, which is really not that steady if you think about it.
Yeah.
But that would be the idea, is where it would stay, and then you just spend the money because you have it, or you have to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some people who hold it as an investment and trade it the same way some people trade Forex.
Yeah.
But I see like real life application for other cryptocurrencies that will be great, but yeah, it depends. It depends what you want to use it for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's so many different ones. Only so many are going to stick. You're going to see
Mm-hmm.
so many fall off in the future, and maybe we'll have 10 or 20 that don't really stick there, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, yeah, at the end of the day,
said it'll create world peace.
I worry.
Ago on a conference, I was like, you're a hype beast.
Somebody thought that Bitcoin's gonna make
Jack Dorsey, like I think he's a CEO of like Square, and he founded Twitter. Yeah. And there was like a Bitcoin conference or talk or whatever between him, Elon Musk, Kathy Woods, I think her name is, from like ARK Investments or whatever, and then another guy. And Jack Dorsey said that Bitcoin could solve world peace or world hunger. World peace, I think he said. Yeah, you can tell he holds Bitcoin. He's just trying to bump it. I was like, that's not the goal here.
That is really funny.
Great if that happens, but I don't think anybody's expecting that to happen. I
don't know. I kind of think the world's going to end pretty soon. Like, I don't know how soon.
You're set on this World War III thing, eh?
Yeah, I'm pretty set on that. Dude, things have gotten so crazy and so fucked. Like, how much more fucked can they get? The narrator, a lot more fucked. But I think we're starting to reach a threshold of believability, if that makes sense. Like 5 years ago, if you were like, this is what's gonna happen, I'd be like, you're on fucking crack.
It's also, that just made me think of like, everybody's like 2020 sucks, like I can't wait for 2021, as if 2021 was just gonna like out of nowhere wipe away all newborn problem. Kobe comes back to life, like no. But yeah, how much more fuck can it get? Well, I'm sure we'll find out, because
we'll find ways. Trust me,
it's gonna get more fucked, that's for sure.
Oh, of course.
People in power like when people are scared and separated.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, it almost makes sense.
It almost makes you more money, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. It almost makes sense as to why they'd want to keep us locked down, huh?
It's that way you have to buy on Amazon.
Dude, there's so much. There are so many inconsistencies with what's going on. I don't understand how people buy what the government's saying anymore, hook, line, and sinker. Like, I don't. It's been 16, 17 fucking months. And you're like...
They didn't know what they were dealing with either.
The government had... Okay, like, I'll give you a 4-month buffer of being like... if
he was like, I don't know what the buffer is, because I'm not like some sort of doctor that knows how long it, takes to do these things.
If you believe the government for like, okay, half a year. If you believe the government for half a year, I'll give you grace. After that, it's like, dude, I don't know what to tell you at the end of the day. Like, you really think they want us to be safe and happy, or they want us to be safe and healthy? Dude, Doug Ford's net worth went up like times 7 or 8 or some shit like that.
Doug Ford's?
Yeah, because he owns a company that makes the stickers for physical distancing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And we trust that, like, oh, he's got our back. No, he doesn't.
Isn't that like My
A conflict of interest, big time.
That's the one. Conflict of interest.
Huge.
Damn.
But it's
stickers. How many stickers do you think he wears? He's a pretty big guy.
Just over his nipples.
I like that.
Dude, he's the premier. We're in a state of emergency. He has the power.
That's not cool.
No, it's not cool at all. Fuck him.
Yeah. I secretly just wish I would have landed that contract. I'm the guy that sells stickers.
Well, look at what's his face? Castro going to the G7 meeting.
Okay. Did
Bro,
he? Sorry, I didn't see anything about that.
Okay, so Mr. Castro, the leader of Canada, went to the G7 meeting with all the other international pedophiles, and he wasn't wearing a mask for most of the time. And then he came back and he didn't even quarantine properly. It's like, bro, what the how the fuck do you expect me to believe anything that comes out of your mouth when you do that shit? How? How?
Well, I mean, Jagmeet Singh got caught without a mask too, right?
And nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cared. And the best part was like what he said. It was like, this is an example of how we got to be better. I got to be better. We all got to be better. And then people were like, yay. I was like, did you really just get away with saying that? I was like,
could you imagine cheating on your girl?
Anybody else, you just get roasted. You would have been canceled.
You
could have been like a dude with 50 followers on Twitter walking down the street of Winnipeg without a mask, and that guy would have got canceled harder than Jagmeet Singh did.
Dude, could you imagine cheating on your girl and being like, this is to show my friends what they should not want to be?
Yeah. I think we should just use this as an example of what we shouldn't do.
Yeah, what the fuck just came out of your mouth? Like, I'm sorry. Oh,
I actually don't. I'm still mind blown he got away with that. Like, he didn't even get semi roasted. He's like, yeah, he's like a rare steak.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And then they're like, yeah, we got a double and triple mask. Like, dude, I seriously would rather just catch COVID and die of COVID than triple mask.
Wear 3 masks.
Honest to God, legit.
Here's something that I discovered.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wearing a mask for multiple hours actually does hurt your ears a little bit.
Oh, you mean there might be negative drawbacks to wearing a mask and just telling people to shut up and wear one? And
I'm not saying it changes the fact whether you should wear a mask or not. All I'm saying is I wore a mask for about 12 hours straight, and then my ears were a little sore.
Ooh.
Yes.
Interesting. It's almost like everything has consequences, and pretending they doesn't make sense.
Nah, you're a sheep.
Interesting. The one thing that bugs me though is like the people who are anti-mask and anti-vax just like do the same shit but in the other direction. Like there was a gym in Etobicoke that's like, we're banning anybody who's vaccinated. It's like, okay, 1, you're gonna go out of business pretty quick. And 2, how does that help? That doesn't fucking help. All you're doing is the same shit. You're like, oh, we're against medical segregation, so we're gonna segregate. That's what we're gonna do. Like that makes no sense.
It's funny because on both sides, there's actually cancel culture on both sides.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny because it probably still is like primarily like the left you on cancel culture. Maybe it's just because I don't Twitter too much, but and then I just started seeing it from the right side. I guess maybe they took a page out of their playbook, but with Finns, because Finns is fairly vocal on Twitter, like the restaurant Finn McCool, and there's a bunch of people leaving 1-star reviews because they are listening to the public health orders, which means that you have to be fully vaccinated to sit together inside the restaurant. So people are leaving 1-star reviews saying they're enforcing the rules of me having to be fully vaxxed. So now it's like the anti-vax people getting mad for people listening to the rules. It's like, what do you expect them to do? Like,
you know what?
Like, how long do you think it's gonna last if they don't listen to public health orders? Like 24 hours before before they shut them down?
I mean, I don't know. I know there are businesses that don't listen to them, and
really,
yeah, they get fined. But it's like those fines don't hold.
Depends how big the fine is, but
those fines don't hold up.
Well, I know you get I think it's a $5,000 fine to a business if you break it health order, and then $10,000 a second time, isn't it?
Those fines don't hold up though. I know many people who have challenged them, and either they get thrown out in court or there's such a long waiting list in court.
But they just
Yeah, because like I'd ask this to business owners, and like I get people leaving 1-star reviews. It's not something I do, but then again, I
think if you leave a 1-star review, you should. Anyways, sorry, I don't like them. I think they're useless. But go on. Because if you actually want to, sorry, I'll actually finish this point. Somebody that writes a 1-star review is only there to make the restaurant or whatever place look bad. The only time you should write a 1-star review is if you actually like talk to a manager there, let them know what the issue you had. And if they don't correct it, then you're like, I had this issue and they wouldn't fix anything. If you go leave a review being like, my food came out cold, and it's like, well, maybe you should have let them know so they can fix this problem. Now you're making them look bad. They can't correct their problem.
That's actually a very good point.
You don't actually care about the improvement of the establishment. You're just trying to make them look bad.
That's a very good point. And also at the same time, like if you're somebody who's very anti-mask and anti-vax and all that shit, which I mean, I guess I fall into by being a conspiracy theorist by association, apparently. Like
I'm somewhat anti-mask now, but I'm not anti-mask. I'm at the point where I don't think we need to be wearing masks anymore.
I'm strictly pro-choice. If you want to wear a mask, who the fuck am I to stop you? But you should not be forcing people to wear masks. I think it's fucking.
I don't think we have to wear masks anymore.
I think it's ridiculous.
And go ahead, but like the vaccination level we're at, and at the number of cases we're at.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have to wear masks anymore.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that they're trying to enforce mask laws. I think that's just nuts.
Well, I went to Vancouver like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been 2 weeks, yeah. And like the whole drive there is like Saskatchewan, Alberta, Vancouver. Nobody wears masks. You don't have to wear masks inside.
Beautiful.
And I went into, I think the first one was a Shell and like Medicine Hat, and I walked in and there's no need to wear a mask. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't realize how much I hated this until I didn't have to do it anymore.
It's fucking stupid. I hate wearing the mask. It's dumb. And it's like a lot of people don't wear it properly. They don't clean them. So you're just breathing in shitty air.
Well, that's the thing. And you're wearing like a fabric mask that has no filter. It's pretty much useless. All you're doing is like just breathing in a bit of your shitty air, and then it gets all sweaty and gross. And
yeah, and you're just scaring the shit out of yourself.
I don't think it's the end of the world if we're getting forced to, but I also think they suck. And if we don't have to, then we should stop. But it's nice to not have to wear it is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think we should stop just in general. But so, and like if you're gonna leave a 1-star review on somebody's restaurant, like all that does is just make, because again,
you just pissed me off too.
Most people on this are really on the fence, but they're gonna side with the public health orders. They're gonna side with the people who own the businesses because they just want their life back. So they're gonna do whatever it takes in order to have whatever normal looks like, or as close as they can, right? So if you're leaving a 1-star review, the average person would be like, what a fucking dick, I just want to eat at Finn McCool's. Like, why the fuck? So I don't think it does anything. That being said,
but here's what it affects is the people who scan and look at the ratings but don't read the reviews. So they'll see that this place is a 3-star average when it should be like a 4.5-star average. And the reason why it's that is because you had a barrage of internet warriors that left 100 1-star reviews saying these people follow health orders, but you'll never know that the review said these people follow health orders because you never read the reviews and just saw the overall rating. That's what it affects it.
Yeah,
I also think you get less visibility if your rating is lower as well, I believe, on some rating platforms.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to look into that. But yeah, I guess
I might be wrong though. I could be full of shit.
I guess my thing to business owners, I'd ask them, and I mean, I don't own a business or like a brick and mortar or anything, so I understand that I might not know what the fuck I'm talking about. I would ask, what is following public health guidelines got us to? Like, especially in Manitoba, especially in Ontario, where has that gotten you?
No, we've had constant promises be broken, and I know business owners are sick of it, obviously. Like,
right?
I think I don't remember what we're at for total, but I think it's over 10,000 restaurants closed in Canada from the lockdowns. Over 60,000 businesses in general, or something like. It was crazy, the numbers. So, what benefit has it done? I don't know. Put a lot of us into poverty. Lost a lot of people's livelihoods.
Because it's like, how many people are actually going the other route? Most of the people that I've heard going the other route and saying, fuck this, I'll just take the fines and challenge them in court, seem like they feel much better about themselves. And again, I don't have a study. I don't know the amount of people, and I couldn't tell you what the stats are.
Kind of like, it's hard to have an actual, there's no actual study on that. It's just, but we do see it, obviously.
Right.
I'm sure it goes both ways.
Yeah, of course. I saw a study where it's like 5 times more young people have killed themselves and actually died of COVID. And I didn't look into anything more than that headline. So that could be full of shit, and it could be a faulty research where it's like, oh, people 21 to 30, this and this in this area. I don't know what the study was, but I would ask, and just using that as a placeholder to start this question, are the mental health repercussions worth everything we just gone through? I would say a resounding no.
Here's the I'll bring up a couple points on this.
Go for it.
We won't actually know the answer to that for years.
Yes, good point.
For one thing. The second thing is I looked at something similar, and it was it was a few months ago, and it was in Ontario that the number of deaths from COVID that month was significantly less than the number of deaths that had increased from the previous year for drug abuse, suicide. So like the difference in suicides, drug abuse, deaths, so on from, I don't know, it was like January 2020 versus January 2021.
Yeah.
The difference was higher than what the actual COVID deaths were. So we were actually seeing worse effects from that. But again, if we didn't have those lockdowns, then the question is, would it have got so worse, or the point where that COVID far worse, right? So we don't really know if that'll ever be the answer. The other thing is, I think we're going to see a lot of long-term repercussions from these lockdowns. And mental health things. So there was one thing that I was reading the other day, or maybe I was listening to it, and it was what's his name? Jordan Peterson. So he was doing, he was going over some studies where so people are most violent when they're at the age between the ages of 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And if your kid does not socialize between the ages of 2 and 4, there's significantly higher risk of them becoming criminal, serial killers, so on. And the big thing was like, if you don't have friends and if you don't socialize. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're just going over the fact, like the effects of like how much like not socializing can actually affect you negatively. And it's like crazy. The biggest contributor to like serial killers is like, if you don't socialize between the ages of like 2 and 4. So I was like, okay, we have a lot of kids that were born. I don't know how long was like these forms of lockdown. I'm sure it's going to go more remote. Will they be socializing enough? Were they socializing enough during the lockdowns? What about like the 18, 19, 20-year-old, whatever, who haven't been socialized for a year? I know for me, it was really socially awkward. I was really socially awkward when I first went to public again. It was weird, considering I was a very social person before. I don't even know how to talk to people anymore. It's
literally.
Like I remember like standing there, I was like, so how did the lockdown treat you?
Yeah.
And I heard like some people like bantering in the back, and I was like, usually I would go like join them. Right now, I just want to sit in quiet. I was like, it completely changed me. And I have roommates, so I was still socializing. I have friends that were locked down in their condo for 3 months, didn't see one face. So it's like, I can't imagine I'm sure there's a lot of negative effects we're going to see from that long term. And I don't know if it will have been worth it. We'll never know if it would have been worth it, but
yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say it's absolutely not worth it. And like, I personally am shocked. Some people, and if you're like, I don't know if it's worth it, fine. But some people are like, it is worth it. Bad
the virus would have spread.
Some people are like, it is worth it. It's like, I don't see that personally. Like,
I can't say if it is or not because we will never know.
That's fair. Like, that's the correct.
We don't know how much it would have spread, right? What
that's
if
the correct answer.
And it was horrible, and we had a 3% death rate, and we lost like whatever amount of people around the world, right?
Yeah,
it would have only been the shitty people. I don't know.
That's the correct answer. My answer is a lot more harsh, but I guess when I look at it, it's like Toronto and Hamilton created field hospitals so that the hospitals weren't overrun. Do you know how many people they treated in the field hospitals over the time that it was
in Hamilton
and Toronto combined, all of them?
How many people in the field hospitals
they treated in these field hospitals?
I have no idea.
32.
Okay. So, but that's, I guess they expected to have it worse because like our hospitals are overrun here, right? We just send people out. But that's just because we have, we're a broke ass province is what I'm getting at. So we don't have enough of anything.
Well, that's the thing that frustrates me because it's like, I don't know if it's really like, if we're really in that dire of a situation where like, people are dying, bodies are piling up, like it's unbearable. why the fuck aren't the proper provinces getting the resources they need? Pallister's cut over $120 million in healthcare since he's been in power as Manitoba premier. 6 years, $120 million. That's fucking insane. And he's asking for volunteers. Dude, go fuck yourself. Like Toronto's ICUs.
I don't know how the budget split up. You said 6 years for 120 million for what? Sorry.
He cut over $120 million in healthcare over 6 years.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty sure
we're running like a massive deficit regardless, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, I remember looking at the budget once and being like, I wonder if we can move stuff around. And I was like, oh, we really can't. We just don't have money. Our province sucks.
Yeah.
It was like we're putting like so much money over here to like First Nation and stuff. There's a ton of money for construction. There was a ton of money for healthcare and all this. And I was like, you pull away from one of them, somebody's going to be pissed off. Our roads suck. Well, we had to pull money there to put it here. Like our healthcare sucks. So we had to pull money to put it there. It's like what we need to do is make more money. We have a revenue problem is what we have.
But so it's almost like you're saying that we should have businesses be open without restrictions and without VAT.
Or like Saskatchewan. We need more oil. We need more potash.
I think what I'm hearing is we need to stop vaccine segregation. That's what
I'm trying to say is that we need what's it called? Collectivized agriculture. Yes.
Yeah, totally. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it was a joke because you kind of giggled after, but yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, I guess it just makes no sense where it's like, okay, we can get all this money to do CERB, fine, not a big deal if you're going to lock down the province. I agree with that. I don't agree with locking down the province in general. I think that's fucking stupid. But why can't we just like the federal government's like, oh, okay, well, it's a provincial thing. But we give a bunch of money to Ontario and they let for what was it, 400 billion or 4 billion or something go, not 400 billion. It was like 4 billion or something go unspent, or 400 million. It was a stupid fucking amount of money that Ontario let go unspent. It's like, dude, if we're in a state of emergency, you can't let that fucking happen. Like Castro can't look at that and be like, I've committed to the bit. It's too late. You can't be like, oh, well, it's a provincial thing. I guess Doug Ford's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know how to spend money. Like, yo, if we're really that dire in a situation where the country's gonna fucking lock down, and you're like, oh yeah, he just let a 400 million go unspent. That's not a big deal. Like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're insane. I'm sorry. You're insane.
Your number went from 400 billion to 4 billion to 400 million. Now I'm really curious what the actual number is.
Yeah, I sound like fucking in Austin Powers. What's his name?
What? Dr. Evil?
Yeah, Dr. Evil. Yeah. Hey man, I don't fact check my shit.
Okay, it turns out he had 4 million unspent. It's because his budget on his stickers turned out to be a lot less than he thought it was.
It turns out it was actually 400,000 because the stickers actually were a lot cheaper than he thought. So.
He outsourced them like a smart conservative would do.
But I guess my thing is, like, when you look at Manitoba as well, like Ontario, they were like, oh, the ICUs are overflowing. And then Roman Baber's like, actually, they're the lowest they've been in 6 years. And then the next day they're like, look, they're overflowing. It's like, okay, that feels fixed. That feels so fixed.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to hide when you do shit like that?
Here's my question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What province do you think did it best?
Pardon?
What province do you think did it best?
Oh man. I'm gonna have to go with your boy BC, just because
that's why I'm moving to BC.
I heard nobody complain about BC. So, and the Maritimes can go thoroughly fuck themselves, by the way. You're not more important.
They do well. I don't know if they did well. I didn't pay attention. I don't pay attention to them ever. All I know is they got cheap lobster.
The fish there is amazing. But they I don't know, they were like,
and oysters, but yeah.
I think the Nova Scotia premier or somebody who's a politician over there was like, we need to ban social gatherings to help stop the spread of misinformation.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
No way.
I was like, dude, you're a fucking moron.
We need to stop communication immediately. No more emails.
Bro, but shit like that is why I get conspiratorial, because I'm like, there's no way he said that. And people are just like, yeah, okay. There's no way that this isn't something happening behind the scenes that we don't know.
That's funny. Well, I'm moving to BC.
Good for you. Get the hell out of there.
In 2 months.
Good for you. I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I hope 2 months. I'm actually going next month for like job interviews and to meet with a couple of investors. And
nice.
If that goes well, I will move in September, October, whenever I sell my houses.
Good for you. Oh, so you're selling them completely. You're not holding them for rental?
No, I want extra money because I gotta go out there. I'm gonna work for a bit, like bartend for a bit, and then open a bar. Or
Nice.
lounge. I don't know
Yeah.
yet. I don't know the market there, so I don't want to walk in and pretend I do. So I'm meeting with investors, gonna plan something, gonna get to know the market, work in it for like a year, maybe 6 months a year, and then do something. So I need the money from my houses to open it up.
That's a really good plan. Okay, so I'll ask you these two questions because we're winding down to the end. I didn't ask you shit, and I just talked about flat Earth theory and why the government's run by lizard people, which is okay. What's something you learned recently other than to not talk to me about COVID?
That's a good question. Let me think. Something I learned recently. Shit, I haven't been learning lately. I've just been working.
That counts.
Does it?
I think.
I've been working a lot lately. I learned that Apple's products. I'm slowly starting to hate Apple products, and
why is that?
And that's kind of what I learned. And I've been diehard Apple since 2010. Ooh. So yeah. Well, they got rid of USB ports on their new MacBooks.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, remember when they got rid of like the auxiliary ports on iPhones, and everybody was like, so that ended up working out okay because like a year later, all the headphones are all Bluetooth. Mm-hmm. But everything I have is still USB at my house, and so I need these converters to plug into my MacBook. And you can't put, so there's two outlets on here and you can't put two of them at the same time in your MacBook. And one of them is occupied by the charger at all times. So you can only really have one USB thing plugs in. What I'm getting at is I'm actually going to buy a PC for the first time in 12 years.
Wow.
In a few weeks. So that's what I learned, is that Apple is slowly getting shittier.
Damn. It took you a long time to learn that, but good for you.
I know, but I really like the easiness of the operating. It's so easy to use.
It is very easy.
Simple for my stupid self.
It is very easy to use.
Also, okay. I had so many slow PCs that just got viruses and stuff in the past that is.
Yeah, you gotta stay off lemonparty.org, man. So.
That was honestly the problem was that back then everybody's like on LimeWire and Lemon Party and Pen Island and. Everybody was trying to download like Paris Hilton sex tape. Just didn't go well for anybody.
That's the name of this. The name of this episode is lemonparty.org and Pen Island.
There's gonna be like a lot of like people that is like, I don't know what that is. What is that? And they're just gonna get, sure enough, their new computers will get viruses too. Oh.
Oh man. The government of Nova Scotia needs to ban distribution.
I learned recently. I learned what a blue waffle is.
Oh, nice.
They're delicious. There's a lot of blueberries.
Yeah.
And I mix it with the batter so that it's blue completely and you can't actually see the blueberries. Really great. You should look it up.
This sounds like purple waffle, but whatever. You know, the government of Nova Scotia should ban distribution of my podcasts to stop the spread of misinformation.
That for sure get you some extra views.
That'd be lit.
You should use run ads on your podcast in Nova Scotia specifically.
Yeah,
and only target those in power. I got government jobs. You could probably target specifically about on Facebook and ads.
Dude, I got shooters out there. I'll ask my shooters.
Shooting podcasts left to right. All right, what's the next question?
Go knocking door to door like a Jehovah's Witness about my podcast. Do you listen to Heck If I Know? No, the fuck is that? Anyways, next question. What's something that's underrated that you think people should know?
What's something that's underrated?
Yeah.
Music by the Midnight.
Ooh, I don't know what that is.
It's like it's a group and they make like kind of like 80s style music.
Mm.
And it's so fucking good. It's all I listen to now for the past 6 months. It's the only thing I listen to. Nice. Aside from my brother's music on a repeat.
Nice. That's awesome that you support your brother like that. My brother made music. I'd never fucking listen.
Would you listen to it if it was good?
No.
Well, you specifically wouldn't listen to it because it's your brother. Fair enough.
I especially wouldn't listen if it was good. I'd be like, dude, you have other fans. Why do you need my support? Sounds like you have attachment issues.
If you liked it, what if you actually liked it?
I wouldn't tell him that I listen.
I think when you have Spotify, you can see or maybe it's SoundCloud. I think it's SoundCloud, where you can see who listens to your music the most and stuff like that.
Well, then I create a fake account.
Just really don't want it as a satisfaction.
Yeah, it'd be like his name. The username would be like his name is a loser 69, and then like that'd be the
Unity underwear is the most underrated.
It is, dude. It's fucking. It's lit.
You're gonna stretch it if you do that.
You're gonna ruin my underwear, dude. Unity underwear is dope. It's actually high.
What color are you wearing right now? Is it black?
Black. It's black. Let me show the camera. Let me show the camera. I'm undressing. You getting the show now? Look.
All right.
Look. Check it.
Yes. Nice. I'm wearing the white right now.
Oh, the white. I don't like the whites.
Do you have any?
I do have whites, but I like the black one better.
I was about to give away. So a lot of people that told me they wouldn't buy the white because they're scared of like getting skid marks and shit or like sweat marks. And I've actually been testing them for 2 years, the white ones, trying. I only wear my white ones to the gym because I'm trying to stain them because it's bamboo fabrics are supposed to be antibacterial, which makes it so the sweat doesn't change the fabric to be yellow. Like if you sweat in it, like it won't stain it at all. And I still haven't successfully stained any of them. So
wow.
2 years of wearing them at the gym. That's why I actually do like the white ones.
That's wicked. Well, I mean, all of them are like that though, right?
They look better on white people though, because you can see through them.
They do. They do. On me, I feel awkward.
Unless you like that, then go ahead, but yeah. I had one of my friends who's half black modeling them, and some of the pictures get removed off Facebook because it's a little too clear on them. So that is my advice. Black is by far the best seller though.
I really like the gray ones actually.
My sales are black.
I really like the gray ones. I think the gray ones are actually the best.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough. The gray is my least favorite. My two favorite are white and red.
White and red. Red ones are awesome. The red
yeah. Yeah, they worked really well. On that note, I have a sale going on right now. Shameless advertising.
Yeah, there we go.
40% off. Actually, that's it. By the time this episode gets released, it won't be a sale anymore, but 40% off.
Dude, you should get pink ones. I'd rock the fuck out of pink.
I've actually been asked that multiple times, and I'm going to do it, but I want to line it up with like some sort of charity or promo thing. Like if I did like pink ones and you donate like half of it to like breast cancer or something like that. I don't like know what it'll be, but so my women's line will come out in the next couple months. And when I do that, then I'll have like a pink combo, the two of them. It's like a special release package when the time comes, when I grow a little bit, because my manufacturer has a pretty large minimum order to make my underwear for me. So,
but or purple.
Purple, I would wear purple. The purple's my favorite color. So,
ooh, but like what kind of purple? Not I'm not talking about like a deep purple, like a dark. I'm talking about like a Barney purple.
Okay, so I personally like deep purple.
Oh, okay.
Almost like an eggplant color.
Yeah. Very fitting.
Yeah.
Like the imagery works.
But you want Barney for the underwear.
Yeah, but so if it's gonna be a deep purple though, then the waistband has to be green.
Okay.
That was supposed to be an eggplant joke, but now it just makes it sound like I have like a sexual Joker fantasy.
I was thinking about the Hulk in my head.
Oh yeah, there you go. There are two
my original Unity underwear that I designed in 2017 was purple with eggplants around the waistband.
That's amazing. That has to be dropped.
And then I had the girls' ones that was going to be orange with peaches around the waistband.
That has to be. If that doesn't drop, I'm actually going to hire somebody to run it on you.
That was supposed to be my original thing, is I was looking for underwear. That's why I designed Unity, is because I was looking for underwear with eggplants on them as a joke, and I couldn't find it. I was like, screw it, I'll make it myself. And then when I was making it, I was trying to find manufacturers, and I was getting different fabrics. And I landed upon this fabric that I use now, and I was like, this is amazing. There should be regular underwear in this. And then I just designed regular underwear because I was like, yeah.
You need the eggplant, man. That's funny.
I do. I still have some of the eggplant ones. I still wear some of the eggplant ones. The fit's different than mine though. It's not as good because it was the manufacturer sent me like basic fits. Like, this is what we usually do. And then I was like, I don't like this. That's it. So that's why I took 2 years after that to release it, because I had to design my own fit after that, which is a lot of work when you have no experience in in fashion design or whatever at all.
Yo, so, I will say orange, yellow, pink, I'd rock the fuck out of, man.
See, yellow was actually a possibility with the last color pack I released, but it was I don't know. I looked around and it was one of the least sold colors. But I was thinking of maybe some sort of like fall release. It wouldn't be this year, though. It'd probably be next year, which would be like an orange, yellow, and maybe a deep purple kind of thing. Something like that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, Nick, let's get out of here before.
What have you learned recently?
Me? What have I learned recently? Oh man, that's a good question. I've learned that it's important to mourn and grieve your losses.
Interesting.
It's very important to do that, regardless of what. Pardon me?
I don't do that.
You don't do that. Why not?
It's gonna sound horrible. I don't think death is a big deal. It doesn't actually. Death doesn't affect me. I don't think it's a big deal. People.
I'm not talking just about death.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, you're pro-death, I'm assuming, but that's.
I'm not pro-death. I just I don't think death is the end.
I'm just anti-life.
I almost think death is like exciting. That sounds really bad. I'm not suicidal. It's just it's just like I like it almost like I don't believe that when you die you go to nothing or you go to hell or whatever. I think there's a possibility that we're in a simulation, and in which case maybe we put ourselves in the simulation, we come out, we just go back to the real life, we can restart life in whatever video game we're living right now, and you can pick what kind of you put yourself in a situation, a certain era, and we're here because we chose to be. And when you die, you just go back and you can restart however you want.
Interesting. I like that.
Or maybe you just die in reincarnation, whatever. There's like, for me, I don't think that all the negative possibilities of what happens after you die, for me, aren't a thing.
I agree completely. I don't think hell's real.
I don't believe in any of them. So
yeah, I don't think hell's real. I don't think Sheol's real. I don't think purgatory is real. I think it's like Ghost with Patrick Swayze. Like either you're in heaven or you reincarnate. Like heaven with an opt-out clause to reincarnate. That's my theory.
I actually think it's similar to that too.
Yeah, because like
not heaven, but back to what we actually are in.
Yeah, a space where you can be, where everybody, like if you die, you go there. Because like we're energy, right? We're spirits. Where the fuck do we go after we die? You can't.
I think the leading theory is still that we're in a simulation.
Either way, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. But then, yeah, I mean that's a way longer topic. But
because what does that really mean?
Possibilities with that. What?
Yeah, what does that really mean at the end of the day? Oh, you're in a simulation. Okay.
So the fact this is a long explanation. One of the reasons why, like, so the fact that like everything obeys like by laws, like law of gravity, whatever, so on and so on. It's more plausible that was written like code. And most of the stuff that happens was like written like code. Which so there could be the possibility that we're all in a simulation, kind of like a Ready Player One thing, or there could also be the possibility we're in our own simulation that we created. So like everything around us was just written for us, that we wrote for ourselves, kind of thing.
So just the Truman Show, but framed differently.
But like we put ourselves into this video game and everybody around us is like, not robotic, but like it's code. It's happening. Like my dog sitting right there.
So I'm code to you and you would be code to me.
So that's the possibility. And then, well, no, you'd be code to me and then you could be in a different simulation. But I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I don't buy that second
possible scenarios that we all entered into a simulation where we don't know what was happening, that we entered it. So the fun part about it is that you're like restarting life. And then in that simulation, you kind of just grow together. And when you die, it's like you lost the game, and then you can go enter a different simulation when you go back to whatever's outside the simulation.
I mean, isn't that kind of like reincarnation just labeled differently?
Yeah, like in a different way, just that the life that we're living is programmed. So like everything plays within a set of rules. Isn't
that just God but labeled differently? Like that just sounds like Catholicism to me. People are like, dude, of course there's a God. Everything's manufactured.
Okay, well, the difference is that we're the gods, or somebody, or yeah, I think in this the one that I would believe is that we're the gods that created the scenario, because
for sure
God's kind of an asshole usually.
Yeah,
so,
read the Old Testament.
I wouldn't be an asshole to myself, right? I put myself in the scenario. I wrote the code. I picked my challenges because I knew that would be what challenges me and make me have.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, but I don't know. That just doesn't sound like very groundbreaking to me. That just kind of sounds like
The real
Every
explanation of it's a lot more groundbreaking than my
oh, okay.
yeah, you should look into it. It's like hours and hours of explanation if you look into the real one.
Oh, okay.
And like the explanation is why it's real. My shitty version is just me taking like what I heard and then twisting it into what I would like best, because I think that's what all beliefs are. It's like, what do you like best? And it's like, well, I want to control the people, so I'm going to write the Bible. And then I'm like, well, and then I'm like, well, I just want to have a happy life and not fear shit. So I'm going to just believe whatever the fuck I want, because everything's just as possible at the end of the day. So
I think that's the true answer. Life is whatever you make of it. But so I'll explain this quickly, then we'll get going. But grieving thing. So like, I don't know, let's say you had a job that you really liked and you get fired, or you leave, or you break up with somebody. Like, I think it's important to grieve that, right? Because like we had all these expectations in our head. I know people say like, oh, expectations, don't have them, it's unhealthy. But at the same time, it's like, if you like something, if you're excited for something, you want things to pan out. Like you want to imagine being in that thing or with that person.
What do you mean by grieve? Is like let yourself feel the
be sad.
I agree. That's important.
Yeah, be sad about it. Because sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say to I don't know, to experience life in general, you need to also experience the bad.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
right. So don't block those off. Let yourself feel it, which kind of goes against my whole thing about debts. But like, I don't know. That's just how I feel.
But but that's your interpretation of it, right? I personally think there's a lot of beauty in the negative experiences. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I definitely grieve over like heartbreak and stuff.
Yeah, because it's there. You're mourning the idea of what you had with that person, and there were obviously good moments. Otherwise you wouldn't have been in them, or what you thought were good moments. And it's important to recognize that in that chapter of your life, that's what you thought was something worthwhile. And if you block that out, then you're just preventing yourself from feeling on a deeper level going forward. And I think there's a lot of beauty in wonder.
Shouldn't drink a lot after a breakup.
Well, it depends what a lot is, and depends what after means. If it's a year after, sure. If it's 10 minutes after, I don't know. Depends on what you're drinking too.
Yeah, I've done that. That was my mistakes when I was like 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
I would just drink.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I wasn't drinking out of depression. I was drinking out of, I'm going to have fun, which never really was good, because then it would put off the heartache for like a month. And then after that, I'd be like, yeah, maybe I need to work on myself.
That was something that I found out recently. But I mean, like, I don't know, so many times we leapfrog and jump from pad to pad. And I mean, sometimes that's good, right? Like if you get fired and you need money and you get a job really quickly, that's good. But it's also important to set apart time to process leaving that other job, right? Because if you just go from spot to spot, you're kind of numbing yourself, and that prevents you from cultivating joy and engaging in your life in a meaningful way, right?
Yeah. Sorry, from spot to spot?
Yeah, like from situation to situation, right? Like,
oh yeah, sorry, I half blacked out.
That's okay. Like if you get out of a relationship and you jump into another one right away, like maybe that other one's a really good opportunity and it's what you've been wanting. I'm not saying if you broke up with somebody and like a month later you got in a new relationship, break up with them because it's not worth it. What I am saying is make sure you set aside time to think about what went wrong in the past relationship, to grieve those moments that you enjoyed, and to make sure that you're okay mentally. And just, I don't know, go see a therapist, go see a spiritual healer. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody about that so you can really make sure that you go through it. Because again, if you break your leg, you can't just go play ball a month later, right? You need to actually rehab it. Otherwise you're going to fuck yourself over even more in the long run.
Fair enough. I mean, stem cells could help you get better, but
true. So what we're saying is just go after you break up, go get stem cells.
Yeah. that was about to go down a dark hole. I gotta end it there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play the clip of Joe Biden. Do you think Republicans think we're sucking babies? And then that's the end of the episode. But anyways,
sucking babies.
This
together, all of you.
I mean, technically, if you're
holding hands,
if you're swallowing some dude's cum, you are indeed sucking babies in a way. But anyways, that's
good take.
Thank you. Extremely good take. There are so many episode names that I could go, but I think I'm gonna stick with lemonparty.org and Penn Island.
Lemonparty.org. You know, the funny part, I don't know why, but I'm just tempted to Google it after this. And I know exactly what I'm going to find, but I just want to be like, oh yeah, those lemons, they'll get you. They're so sour.
I remember, oh man, once
when life gives you lemons, what do you do?
Make a lemon party.
Or just make lemonade, yeah.
Yeah, true. when I was in grade 9, this one guy's like, he posted on Facebook, he's like, does anybody know any good movie sites to watch movies? And top comment was lemonparty.org.
Such a great movie.
Anyways, let's get the fuck out here. I
gotta wrap this up. I sell a mattress.
I think we collectively lowered the IQ of anybody listening to this, but that's the goal. That's the goal.
Depends if did you consider Lemon Party educational?
I consider it stimulating at the very least.
Okay.
Yeah. Stimulating.
Lemon Party is stimulating.
Yeah, stimulating is
Stimulate
an umbrella
yourself
term.
with Lemon Party.
It's an umbrella term that covers a wide variety of emotions. But anyway, Nick, this was wonderful. Thank you for rescheduling and doing this again. Lost episodes, if heck if I know. Is there anything you'd like to leave the people with before we go?
No, I already dropped my Unity shameless advertising. So we good.
Okay, sounds good. You know what? Actually, I don't think I'll use
that. Stay safe and support local businesses because they need it now more than ever.
Yeah,
and
don't wear a mask.
And get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Don't wear a mask. Do heroin instead of getting the vax. Swag.
So many places hiring right now, they can't get employees. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's fucked.
Should work. I'm probably get another job. So
yeah, it's wild.
Until I leave.
Anyways, on that unemployment note, this is signing off on Heck If I Know. Have a great week, people. Peace out.
Later.